Hey Scorpio, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings. Take what works, leave what doesn't. If I don't catch your storyline, your wavelength, your energy signature here, go check your other major placements. I will be doing extendeds over on Vimeo again this week. So you can, the link will be in the description box. If you feel like it, you can head over there. We'll get clarification on each one of these cards. We're going to do a little tarot sandwich or tarot lasagna. But let's get going on this reading right here. We have overall for the reading from the bottom of the deck, 7 of Wands, making space for something that you love, fighting for something that you love, something that you want, something that resonates with you, that you believe in, and making room for that and making space for that. A lot of strength to make time for something or someone. Past, present, inner landscape, what's the issue, environment, to-do list, possible outcome. Oh my goodness, yes. Okay, you might be very tired of making space for this thing and very tired of this process, but it will be rewarding and I'm very excited about that. All right, here we have in your recent past, 5 of Swords, you have had to make very difficult decisions. You have been between a rock and a hard place. You have had to choose possibly to hurt someone else in order to save yourself. That's what this particular card is, but that's often the meaning of the card, is that you may have had to hurt yourself in order to save yourself. This would be like having to, saw off your foot to get out of the cave and go survive, and live to fight another day is what this card is. Like, okay, that didn't go well. It's not that you totally lost, but it's some of the sacrifices you've had to make in order to survive or get where you are. They didn't feel good. They weren't great. And now you've, sacrificed your foot just so you could survive. But with the 5 of Swords, at the end of the day, we live to fight another day. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You've got to be kidding me. How did you get both of these crapola cards next to each other? I'm sorry, Scorpio. Let's just go back to bed and start again tomorrow. 5 of Swords. You had to make you're placed in a no-win situation, had to make some crappy choices, had to sacrifice some things, possibly parts of yourself in order to save yourself, possibly somebody else's feelings, possibly, you just were backed into a corner and you had to make some dumb decisions. Life does that from time to time. The cold comfort in this card is that it exists as a card. That means we all experience this backed into a corner feeling, this sense that the only way to save ourselves is to sacrifice something that we value, that we love, maybe part of ourselves, maybe part of a loved one. Part of a loved one. I don't know, that sounds like human sacrifice in a way, but it's just, that's the cold comfort of the card, is we all have this experience. It's common here. It's not unusual. You're not the only one that had that experience. So some people aren't comforted by that, and others of us need to hear that we're not the only ones having these kind of difficult moments. Current situation, 7 of Swords. So this card isn't always bad, but it isn't fabulous either. This is about deception. Someone looks like a bed of roses and they are anything but. Here's this cute little bird couple having a good time. They just left their nest eggs, their future, everything they've ever worked for, unattended for a short period of time so they could go and just enjoy each other's company a night out. And then here comes this horrible snake. From up here, this looks like a rose tree. Oh, look, why is there a rose tree near our house? I don't know, but it's really cool, isn't it? But no, this rose tree is stealing their future. So we can look at it from the snake's perspective. The snake is hungry. The snake has its own eggs. It's incubating. And these are just eggs, right? They're not even real things. They're just eggs. And what do they want? What's a snake going to do? Have an out-and-out fight with these birds? These birds are big. They're going to just eat the snake. So rather than have direct conflict, the snake has waited for its opportunity and done something a little bit sneaky. But it's for its own survival. Right? You made decisions for your survival that weren't that pretty. This snake's making decisions for its survival that aren't that pretty either. So This one's a little, this can also be about withholding truth. Withholding truth, either by lying or by being sneaky. And this one has a little bit of both. We are being sneaky and we are lying. And this has a sense of withholding the truth also. Oftentimes this card has a sense of withholding the truth through just not talking, not speaking at all, going silent. But this one definitely has more of a vibe of deception. So this isn't to make you paranoid. You're already well aware of the situation that you're in and well aware of the dynamics and the choices and the decisions that are being asked of you. You may be being asked to be sneaky. There are times to be sneaky. There are times when lying is the greatest good in a situation. They are not as often as these people seem to think, but they do exist, where the greatest good is to be a little deceptive, a little private, a little sneaky. So maybe that's the decision and that's the choice you had to make. Or maybe someone else is getting you back for a choice you made long ago to sacrifice them, and they're getting back at you now. There could just be silence out of the situation, just someone's getting what they want out of it. Someone's definitely getting what they want here. And they're either doing it because they're lying and they're getting what they want at the expense of somebody else. But that's what Five of Swords is too. Seven of Swords just adds a dynamic of deception to it. Really wonderful energies. Fabulous. Love it. Love it. Love that kind of vibe. Your hopes, your fears, your inner landscape, the Hierophant. This is something very traditional. Are you hoping for this? Are you afraid of this? Maybe we've like really gone off the rails with some sort of very non-traditional arrangement here that requires sneaking and hurting each other. And we just kind of want to get back to some sort of basic traditional values of honesty and care and whatever. But we could also be dealing with afraid of some sort of organization. And maybe that organization has such restrictive rules that you have felt, then you at one point you felt like, okay, well, I'll give up something that's really important to me in order to get something else that's really important to me. And then that morphed into like, okay, I can't keep playing this game. I'm just going to be sneaky about it. But what we've got is this overarching sort of extremely traditional, historic institution here that we're worried about and we might be afraid about. We might be trying to avoid a confrontation with. The other thing could be that this ground, this Five of Swords, Seven of Swords, this shaky, I want to say immoral or constantly shifting or hard to know where people stand place, we really would like it to go back to something more traditional, more stable, just something stable. Because whatever happened here is just like created so much lack of trust, instability, pain, difficulty, whatever. We could be dreaming for something extremely stable. Like I would just like to know what the rules are now and for everybody to follow them. That's what I want. That's what I'm dreaming of. Just let's have some traditional rules here. It almost looks like someone that tried a very non-traditional relationship and is now really ready to go back because this did not work out at all. And now they really want something much more traditional. Either that or they've gotten so used to living like this sneaking and this whatever, and they want to go back to something more traditional here. Or that they don't want to go back to something more traditional. Although this energy all here is so uncomfortable. It's hard to understand what sort of damage your soul would take in order to become comfortable in this sort of situation. But this is all in service of trying to make room and space for something you do want. So what's at issue here is the Star card reverse. Unlucky moments. Something that was very unlucky. Maybe you got caught. Maybe someone else got caught. There's just been an unlucky moment. And there's not a real sense of feeling like you're right where you belong. You might feel, actually, with these energies, you might feel really out of place, very much not where you belong at all. Maybe you thought this was gonna work out. Maybe you thought like, okay, I'll sacrifice that, I'll get that, everything will be fine. Only everything got a little bit worse. You could be wanting for something much more traditional, much more solid ground, much more, where do I stand here? What is going on, right? This would be like the Hierophant would be some sort of golden rule, maybe even a religion. Maybe you're like, I just need to get back to some sort of basics here, because this was all very strange. I need to get back to some basics. I want to get back to basics of, you know, the golden rule issues, traditional values like honesty and faithfulness and all of that, like just a much more traditional, grounded sense. And sure, tradition can be a little bit boring and a little bit like dull and dry sometimes, but compared to this other energy over here, it might feel really good. But this star card is about being unlucky, like something, maybe this could have worked out, but there was some sort of like dynamic here that was just very unlucky and almost made sure that this didn't work out. Whatever sort of sneaky behavior or whatever sort of sacrifices you thought you needed to make, and maybe you sacrificed the wrong thing or something, but this was just like particularly unlucky. We sometimes call these shitticanes in my house, of just like something kind of minorly unlucky happens, and then it just throws off this chain of events, which is a little bit what this Five of Swords followed by the Seven of Swords looks like. It's a chain of events unfolding, and everybody now just wants to get back to basics. So that's what this looks like. It's just, you know, that wouldn't have been that bad except for this happened, and then that wouldn't have been that bad except for this happened. So the Star card is not feeling like you're in the right place at the right time at all, and that something's gone horribly awry, and there was some like little bit of extra bad luck, and you might not be able to see how this could possibly turn out or go well, and you don't really see any sign of the divine in the situation. There's no sense that this was divinely orchestrated, although I have come to believe that disastrously bad timing is actually perfect timing. But there's a sense of not feeling that for sure here. In your environment, we have the Emperor. We have a controlling influence. This is someone whose control and power has been bequeathed them by the state. So this is coloring this one a little bit, this Hierophant. You might be worried about about an organization, because this person's power was bequeathed to them by the organization, by this thing that you possibly fear. And a fear like that would definitely like lead to sneaky behavior, lead at first to some sacrifices that you didn't want, and then if it goes too far, some sneaky behavior. This person has, you don't have the power in the situation. There's someone that has been bestowed power by some sort of institution, could be marriage, could be, you know, the legal system. We have like a hint at prison time here. It could be the legal system, but you're not the one in control. The control is external to you, and it could be an institution that has all the power and holds all the cards right now. It could be something, it could be another person that has the power, and they have some sort of legal or institutional divine right to be in charge and be in control. And that's not going to be you. This is very much in the external here. So we have this sort of institution crowning this person as, you are our leader, you are our head. This one has, this one definitely enjoys being in charge. Of the emperors, this deck comes with multiple emperors. This emperor is the most diabolical seeming one to me. A very masculine energy, very controlling, very powerful energy. You might be surprised to know that I do not ship the Emperor and Empress. I don't think an Empress would enjoy the power dynamics that the Emperor necessitates and demands. The Empress is more about her own power, and the Emperor is about power over others. So I never ship those two in my mind. Other people do, but I don't. So that's what I see here. Your to-do list, 9 of Wands. Okay, this has been hard. I mean, I do like the acknowledgement here. That is the silver lining of this tarot reading, is that, yeah, this has been hard. This is a difficult energy. You have been wounded. You have been hurt. You were maybe deceived, maybe even by an institution. Reminds me of the army making promises it will never keep to new recruits, even old recruits that should know better tend to fall for the promises of the recruiter. So that's what this reminds me of a little bit, is like, yes, you've been wounded. Yes, this has been difficult. And your job is to keep going anyway. You're wounded, you want to quit, you want to retire. I mean, working with this dynamic and this energy, all of this energy, there's someone with a lot more power than you. You've made a lot of sacrifices for them. You've sacrificed parts of yourself for them. You may have been pushed in a corner where you felt like you had to deceive someone, or maybe they deceived you. You are worried about this institution. You're worried about this thing. This feels all like horrifically unlucky, just super bad timing. It's like, you know, you take it, you rarely gossip about anyone, but at a party you were gossiping, and then that one of those natural lulls in the conversation went down, and it was just this massively unlucky moment where you said something really nasty about someone and the whole room heard. It was out of character. Anyway, that might be an analogy for what we're dealing with. Something very out of character for you. But there is a very unlucky moment, and now you're worried about what the repercussions are when you go to work on Monday morning. So this is like, go to work on Monday morning. You want to quit, you want to retire, you want to be done with this whole project, with this whole situation. You don't like it, it's been difficult, it's been painful, you've made all sorts of sacrifices here for this beautiful garden, but your boss isn't letting you quit, the army's not letting you retire. You can't quit right now. You signed up for a whole nother term here, and you cannot quit. So keep going. This is the wounded warrior. You go back even though you don't want to, even though you want to be done. Go back in there. Go back for another round. Go back for more. But guess what? Possible outcome, 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups talks about relationships, but not just with our romantic partner, because if this is with a romantic partner, I don't know what you're still staying for. This is the thing you're making space for. This is the thing you want. This is your holy grail, the thing that you're sticking around for, the thing you're putting up with all this crap for. This is it, and you get it. You get this, like, and it has to do with the interpersonal connections. So you get this moment of all is well, this moment where we get to enjoy the fruits of our labors. We've put a lot of work into something. We've been through hell with somebody, and we've stuck with it, and there is happiness available to you. So, you know, if this is like a long-term abusive relationship, no, don't. That's not what this storyline is about. This storyline is about a hard time and a hard issue. But if you stick with it, you are going to get to someplace better. We're not talking about other situations. I'm in no way and never would be able to encourage someone to stay in something that's abusive. This is something that's been difficult and hard, and maybe we've deceived ourselves a little bit about something, and challenging, and we do feel powerless here, but our power is to choose to continue on, continue making space for this thing, continue fighting for what we want, what we believe in, what we have faith in. Yeah, continue fighting for what you believe in. Both of these are wands. They're about passion. They're about vision for the future. And they're both about fighting for it. This one you have a little more energy. This one you have a lot less. You're much more depleted. But this comes in. It's worth fighting for, is what I see. Something here is worth fighting for. All right, so if you feel so moved, join me over on Vimeo. If not, I'll see you Scorpios in a couple weeks.